Hello, good people, and thank you so much for checking out my channel. I'm your girl Keena, and this is a recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Yes, they are back. This is their third season, so this is season 3, episode 1, and the title is Revenge Marks the Spot. You guys, so we don't have Mary. A lot of people were against Mary. A lot of people were for Mary. However, Mary's not on this particular season. And I think we're going to miss her. She definitely was missing on the first episode. However, we still have the other 5 ladies as far as Jen, Meredith, Whitney, Heather, and Lisa. All right. So at the very beginning of this particular episode, I really love the production for Salt Lake City. I don't know if it's a different production compared to the other Real Housewives, but when it comes to Salt Lake City, they always do something that's like totally different or something that we haven't seen before. So at the beginning of this first episode, the producers take us to they flash us back to 2019. And I don't know what they call this particular, I don't know the terminology in production, but they take us back to 2019. And it's like the view is black and white, so we know we're going back in time. And this is when the ladies are like speaking about themselves. I think it's like their pre-tape before they actually get on the Housewives. Okay, so episode 1, the producers take us back to, we'll just call it the pre-tape of the ladies 2019. They start off with Jen Shaw. Jen Shaw, she's going on and on about how she makes millions, she has so much money, and she makes the statement that she would do whatever she got to do for money, to make money. Okay, Jen, that was back in 2019. And as we know, she's in a lot of hot water now, right? So, next they show Meredith. And Meredith is talking about her and Lisa's relationship, how they have been great friends ever since they met each other. And she know that Lisa is her best friend. Lisa really has her back, that she can really trust Lisa. Meredith said that 2019. Then we have Lisa. She's pretty much saying the same thing about Meredith. You know, Meredith's her girl. She is so great. She's someone that she really can rely on. Like, they're really saying really great things about each other. This is back in 2019. Then we have Whitney. And Whitney's talking about her relationship with her and Heather, how they are so close, and actually they are blood cousins. Then we have Heather, and she's saying the same things pretty much as Whitney about their close relationship, how they're really blood cousins, and that they know that no matter what they may go through, they can always talk things out, and they'll be able to work out whatever problems they may have. This was all back in 2019. Then we get a fast forward of what's to come for this particular season 3, which we're in 2022 now. Maybe they finished filming last year, 2021. However, it gave us like a flash forward of what's to come for this particular season. And that flash forward, we have Jen. We know she has a lot of legal trouble. I'm not exactly sure if she's already been arrested. I know she came forward and she did admit that she had defrauded the elderly people. I don't know if she's waiting to be sentenced or what. I have to follow up on her case. So that's now present time, right? So then we have Meredith and Lisa. We saw at the end, if you've been following the seasons, following this particular Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, you saw season 2 at the end where Lisa, she got so pissed off with Meredith because Meredith was not taking up for her or anything like that. When it came to Mary Cosby, because they like had a vendetta vendetta or whatever against Mary. The whole season 2 was about bringing Mary down. And so Meredith was the only person that was like really being cordial and nice with Mary, you know, which Mary is not a saint. So she did have her little things she was getting into also. But it was something about that that really pissed Lisa off, that Meredith would sit there and stand beside Mary, but she would not stand up for Lisa, right? That was season 2. So now, present time, Lisa and Meredith are not on great terms. Lisa went off on Meredith. She said that Meredith has slept with more than half of New York. She's talked about Meredith not being stable in her home, and that her husband doesn't work, and well, he can't keep a job, and that's why they don't have like a house, and they have to continue to rent instead of they don't own a house. And she really talked about it. She even said that her whole family was fake. So she really attacked Meredith the end of season 2. So this is spilled over into season 3. So all that talk from the pre-tape where Meredith and Lisa was saying they were really good friends, they can trust in each other and lean on each other. When we took that fast forward to present now, that is not the case. So Heather and Whitney, we see at the very beginning in this episode, they're like really getting along and everything. But with the fast forward, we see that they're going to have a falling out too. So they really made it interesting. Like, it caught my attention, and I can say I'm here for the ride. Even though we don't have Mary on there anymore, Mary to me was the person who really made it interesting, with all the shadiness, the kookiness, all the things that she was doing, even the unpleasant things that she would say at times that would rub people the wrong way. All of that was interesting to me with Mary. And I was thinking that these ladies would not be able to pull off another season without her unless they brought on someone else. However, with the way that the producers have presented these things, this first episode to us, I think we're in for a pretty decent ride with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Alright, so after all of that pre-tape that they showed us, and then the fast forward of the season of what we can expect to see, getting into this first episode, they try to throw us off. They have Jen preparing to go somewhere. They have Meredith preparing to go somewhere. They have Lisa preparing to go somewhere, and they have Heather preparing to go somewhere. So you may think from the way they're showing things that Jen and Heather is going to meet up, and then maybe Lisa and Meredith, because that's how it was for the first 2 seasons, right? However, at the beginning of this season, since Meredith and Lisa are not fooling with each other, it's where Lisa goes to meet up with Heather and Meredith goes to meet up with Jen. So we already see that Jen and Meredith made up, because season 2 they were not getting along from whatever Jen had posted about Meredith's son Brooks. There was a big falling out about that. However, now things have turned, and Meredith is back to being cordial with Jen, and now Lisa is reaching out to Heather for help to try to get back in good with Meredith. Alright, so Lisa and Heather, they meet at a restaurant, and basically Lisa, when she sits down talking to Heather, she's telling Heather about, she reached out to her because Heather is a person that pretty much can say anything and she gets away with it. And Lisa's like, she just messed up this one time and she just want to know how she can get back with Meredith, and she's asking for Heather's help. And so Heather reminds her that she did blast Meredith and also came hard for Meredith's family. And so Heather asks Lisa, is that how she really feels about Meredith from the things that she said? And Lisa asked Heather, what did she think? And Heather was like, I think that's how you feel, you know? And Lisa is like, no. And so Heather tells Lisa that she has to be the bigger person. She said things are out there now. Like everything Lisa said, it's already put out there. She put this lady on blast, talking bad about her family. That pretty much she was saying they don't really have money. That Self can't keep a job. That they don't have money enough to buy them a home. That's why they move from place to place. And that their family is fake. And that's a lot for someone to take, you know? Especially if that person's supposed to be your best friend. She's gonna put you on blast like that? That's not cool. So then we go over to Jen and Meredith. They met at some place where it looks cold outside, but yet and still they're in a hot tub. So they seem to be enjoying it, whatever. Alright. So Meredith and Jen, they're in the hot tub, and Jen asks Meredith how she feels about Lisa's rant. And of course, Meredith said that, you know, she felt everything that Lisa said. Like, it really hit her hard. And so Jen mentions that she is planning a birthday party for Coach Shaw. Coach Shaw has been going through a lot dealing with Jen. But, you know, they always got to have some type of party. So she's saying that she's throwing this party for Coach Shaw because it's his birthday. And just to show appreciation to him for all the things that she's taken him through with this legal case. And she mentions that she's going to invite everyone, including Lisa and her husband, John. You know, and so, you know, Meredith was just like, you know, well, it is what it is as far as her coming to the party, but she doesn't even care about talking to Lisa. She said that Lisa tried to defame her character, and even with her defaming her character, none of that stuff is true about Meredith. Meredith is saying none of those things are true about herself. However, she's heard so much about Lisa, and maybe Lisa was trying to deflect because she said she's heard that Lisa's not really making money with her business, and Lisa's also been cheating on her husband. And so Jen turns and she says that she's also heard the same thing as far as Lisa cheating on her husband. So I don't know, maybe they spreading it wide and dipping it low and stuff. I don't know. And so that was the meetup with those two ladies there. So once Heather left from meeting with Lisa, she stops by Whitney's place. And when she gets to Whitney's house, Whitney tells her that she wants to be excommunicated from her church, because it's like while she's still part of the church, they're still like checking on her. They know her every move, and she's also paying the church. However, she's saying she's not dedicated to the religion and she wants to be removed. So there's some type of form that she goes online that she completes. She prints it out and she saves it. Right? And so Heather, she expresses that she is not at that point in her life herself, even though she has some reservations about the religion. She feels that she's already hurt her family enough, and if she was to take that type of step, that would really damage her family even more, and she doesn't want to do that. So it's kind of interesting with the religion and everything. Alright, so then we see Jen, and Jen, she's trying to light the fireplace at her new rental that she's in. Apparently they have downsized on their rental house, so she's not in such a large space, and it's not as luxury as luxurious like as we've seen it in the previous 2 seasons, because she have a lot of legal fees, so she can't be paying expensive rent and, you know, spending so much money because she has to pay for her lawyers. And so she's at the house trying to light the fireplace, and Coach comes in and she tells Coach about the party that she's planning, and it's going to be at her friend Angie's house. And I think we've seen Angie before, maybe on season 2. She's like a friend of. So Coach was just like, okay, he just don't want any craziness at the party as far as Lisa, Meredith, and anyone else, that they can save that for another time. He don't, you know, I guess he just don't want that embarrassment. They already going through enough. All right, so then we have Meredith and Self. Self comes into the house with groceries, and he's showing that he bought some ramen noodles. It was like a little cute little joke. He was like, yeah, I don't have any money, I don't have a job, so of course we're gonna be eating Roman noodles or whatever. And so of course him and Meredith talk about the thing with Lisa bashing them on national TV and everything, and Meredith shares that she's seen some type of SCE documents where Lisa company is not making money, and they start talking about what does Lisa husband John do anyway besides follow Lisa around, and then production flashes back to the different times that Lisa is working and John is like following her or just like being her puppet or whatever. It's so funny. I really like the production on this show. And so Self asked Meredith if she reached out to Lisa, and Meredith was like, for what? Why would Meredith reach out to Lisa? Basically, that's what Meredith is saying, you know. So, I don't know. And she's also mentions that it wasn't good for Lisa to even be talking about Self in that manner because Self is responsible for over 4,000 employees. I still don't know what type of work Self does. I mean, I don't think they ever mention what Self does. But anyway, so Meredith is really pissed at Lisa. I don't blame her either. Like, that was really cold. Alright, so then we go to the Harlem Nights party that's being thrown at the lady Angie house. And this Harlem Night theme party, this is Coach Shaw's birthday party, right? Jen is throwing a party. She's throwing it at her friend's Angie house. So the little setup is really nice. And of course, everyone is like dressed in the Harlem Nights theme. Um, it was really nice to see that Coach Shaw family was there. I think his sister and one of the main people was his mom. I'm always happy to see someone's mom come and spend time with them and all that. And Lisa shows up and she is like really nervous about seeing Meredith and Self. And she made some mention about she don't, if it was her, she wouldn't let one bad day ruin a 10-year friendship. Like, you're right, girl. Let that had been the other way around. You know you would not have handled it as well as Meredith's been handling this. And so we get to see Heather flirting with one of Coach Shaw's friend. His name is Big Baby. I think he plays for the Celtics. So yeah, Heather's still flirting, trying to get her some. And then we see Lisa and her husband come in. They're speaking, and John, Lisa's husband, speaks to Self, and they say, you know, they're pretty much talking to each other, saying that they're gonna stay out of the wife stuff, and you know, Self is like he don't even understand why they even happened, you know, but pretty much John and Self, they're gonna be cool with each other. They'll just stay out the ladies' way. So we get a good look at Coach Mom and some others dancing, having a good time. That was nice to see. Alright, and then Whitney's outside. She decides that they're going to plan a little getaway, you know, to try to give Jen a break. But I'm thinking they're planning a little short getaway just to make sure they have some type of girls trip down packed with all of them before Jen has to take her ass to jail. And that's, they plan to go to Arizona. And then Lisa, for whatever reason, she walks up and she speaks to Meredith, talking about she wants to talk later and she loves her. And Meredith's just like, whatever, why are you even in my face? She didn't say that, but the look on her face said all of that. But she did say in her confessional that Lisa just needs to leave her alone. And she said that Lisa had 2 months to talk to her. So why would she wait until they're on camera to try to talk to her? Alright, so then as Lisa's walking by, she ends up walking by Self. And she asks Self, she says hello to Self and she asks Self for a hug. And then they start talking. Basically, Self is like, he doesn't understand why she would go off like that. And Lisa's in tears talking about she loved Meredith and Self, and she is like so hurt, and she just started making excuses about her siblings, how she's a sister, and how many, I forgot how many siblings she was saying she had, but I'm like, what they got to do with anything? whether you have siblings or not, what does that have to do with you going off on Meredith, saying that that lady has been cheating on her husband, which it could be true, but you went off on the deep end on her, and now you're trying to take it back and you're making excuses instead of just apologizing, and she's just standing there in tears and everything. And so, and Self, he realized she was just making apologies. I'm sorry, making excuses for herself. And afterwards, it's like she was just ready to go. So she goes to get her husband, John. It's like, yeah, it's time for us to go. She's all emotional and everything. And then, so Meredith, she just asked Self, why in the world did you even talk to her? Why did you, she pretty much was like, why did you even engage? And he was, and so Self was like, how could I not? Pretty much Lisa pulled him into that, and I mean, he's a guy. I guess he didn't know how to just tell her, not now, not at this moment, not trying to talk to you or whatever. All right, so that was this is season 3, episode 1, the very first episode. So yeah, we see that Meredith is very much pissed off at Lisa ass, and Jen is trying to get things together. She's going through the court battle, and of course she's emotional and worried about having to leave her family if they give her the clank clank as far as locking her up. Heather and Whitney always being nosy in everyone's business. They're always bringing up the religion and everything. So we'll see how this overall season goes. I'm looking forward to a good season. And we do know that episode 2, this is when the ladies are going to be going on their trip. They're not going far. I believe they're going to Arizona, but it seems to be interesting how things start to turn once they go on this particular girls trip. All right, so that was my recap of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 3 episode 1, and the title was Revenge Marks the Spot. Thank you guys so much for checking out my channel. If you would please click like, and always welcome to leave a comment. I really would appreciate it. I'm still trying to give this YouTube thing a shot. I do like recapping the shows, and I appreciate you guys checking out my video. Thank you. Have a great day.